Hi everyone, welcome to day 14 of Mrs. Lambrand's math group. Today we're going to be doing some new word problems. These are similar to yesterday's, but they're taking the next step, so it is going to be a little bit tricky, so make sure that you are slowing down and watching this video. So let's begin with our first word problem. It says, Molly baked 3 times as many cookies as cupcakes. The cupcakes were vanilla and chocolate. She baked 32 items in all. How many cookies did Molly bake? Okay, so there's a couple of things we need to do. The first thing is we need to get rid of the information that we don't know, or that we don't need. So we know we do need that she made cookies and she made cupcakes. We don't need to know that she made vanilla and chocolate. They don't tell us how many of each, doesn't help us. So we're going to write up here because both of these are C words. We're going to do cookies, we're going to write out, and cupcakes. Okay, so cookies and cupcakes. What makes this one different than past ones is they're not giving us an end total or they're not giving us a beginning total. They're just giving us how many times each thing is. So we're going to work backwards. So let's just start by drawing. So the first thing is that we know that Molly baked 3 times as many cookies. So we're going to draw 3 boxes. Okay? And then for cupcakes was just 1 box. So if that tricked you up, what I would have done is that I would have said, okay, which one is my unit? Which one is the one that we only know has 1? And it would have been cupcakes. And then I would have said, okay, now I need to draw 3. Okay? Now they told us all together how many cupcakes did she bake? She baked 32. So this is kind of similar to the first couple weeks, but a little bit more challenging because it's using what we've done all together. Okay? So if we know the total of what she made, okay, and we need to now work backwards, how many boxes do we see? Well, we see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we see 4 boxes. And the reason I'm counting all of them is because we're trying to find out what the single unit is in order to be able to figure out their totals. All right, so we're taking this number and we're dividing it by the number of groups altogether. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 squares altogether. Okay, so cupcakes was 1 and 3 times the cookies, so that makes 4 boxes. So this number sentence is going to become 32 divided by 4 equals some number. Now, if this is too hard to think about, we could do 4 times some number equals 32, right? We can go back to our number bond. 32, and we have 2 factors, right? So we have 32 and we know 1 factor. We don't know this factor. So what times 4 will give us 32? Well, if we're not certain, we can always use our facts. So what number gets us close to 32? Well, if I do 4 times 10, that'll give me 40. So that's a little bit too high. So let's take out a 4. Okay, so 4 times 9, that brings it down and brings us to 36. Okay, that's still too high. Take out 4 more. Okay, so 4 times 8 is 32. So the answer is 8. Okay? But that's not the answer to the question. Okay, the question says how many cookies did Molly bake? Well, it's not 8. Okay? The number that we just found, 8, right, represents how many are in this square. So this was the total divided by the number of groups. This tells us the number in each group. So in the box is going to be 8. So I suggest writing this number in each of the boxes because it will kind of help you see what you should do. Okay, so now we're looking for cookies. Okay, so our new number sentence or equation would be 8 times what? 3. And that'll tell us the total number of cookies. So it'll be 8 times 3 gives us 24. So she baked how many cookies? She baked 24 cookies. So we're going to write that. Is it Molly? Was that her name? I think that was her name. Okay, so we're going to write it into our sentence. We're going to do Molly baked 24 cookies. Okay, so one last thing. Before you submit your work, because this is a tricky concept, it's new, one thing that you can do to make sure that your work is correct is to check it. And it's not just looking it over to see, oh, this looks right. The way you check it is almost all of these will have a single unit and the times unit. The way to check it is to take what you got for an answer and add in the single unit, and you should get the total. If you don't, then something's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to check it right now. What it would be is it would be 24, okay? So my number of cookies plus the cupcakes. This answer should come out to what number? It should come out to 32 because that's the total of everything. So I'm just going to double check to make sure, okay? So this is 8 and 4 is 12 and 32. Did I get it right? Yeah, so I know that my answer is correct. Fabulous. Okay, let's look at the next question. So this one says, Manny spent 7 times as long on the bumper cars than he did on the carousel. He ate too much cotton candy and had to go home. If he spent 72 minutes on rides, how many minutes did he spend on each ride? Okay, so again, this one is going to be similar to the other one. All right, so we know that he had carousels and bumper cars, right? We need to get rid of the unimportant information, so we don't need to know that he ate too much cotton candy and had to go home. So that's not going to help us figure out. So we're going to look at these. Oh, I did these wrong. Let me tell us bumper cars first. Bumper cars and then carousel. All right, so it says that he spent 7 times as long on the bumper cars than he did on the carousel. So in this one, our unit is going to be our carousel, and there's going to be 7 boxes for our bumper car. So 1, 2, 3, 4, these are taro boxes, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? They told us all together that this equals 72 minutes. Okay? They want to know how many minutes for each ride did he spend. So we need to find the number of groups. So the number in each group. So we know that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 groups. So I want to find out how many minutes are in each group. So I'm going to divide my total by the number of groups, which is 8. 5, 6. So it's going to be 72 divided by 8 equals some number. It could also be 8 times some number equals 72. And if we use our number bond, it becomes 72. We have our first factor of 8, and we don't know what our other factor is. Okay? So what times 8 will give us 72? 9. 8 times 9 is 72. So let's go ahead and put that in. So this is telling us how many minutes are in each box. So we're going to write in 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Okay? So now the question asks us how many minutes do you spend on each ride? So I'm making this bigger. Okay, so just to walk you through, our total was 72. Okay, we were trying to figure out how many minutes were in the individual box. So we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We divided 72 divided by 8 equals some number, or flip it and do 8 times some number gives us 72, and we were able to figure out that the factors were 8 and 9, so it's 9. But this 9 represents 9 minutes, so we filled in 9. Now, the question asks us how many minutes for each ride. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be 9 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So for bumper cars, it's 9 times 7. Well, for the carousel, it's just 9, so we don't have to do anything. We know it's 9 minutes. So let's figure out our bumper cars. So 9 times 7 is 63. You could do 7 times 10, which is 70. Take out a 7, and that'll bring you down to 63. So he spent 63 minutes on the bumper cars. So let's write this out. He spent 63 minutes on the bumper cars and 9 minutes on the, I think that's right, but we're gonna double check that spelling because I don't know how to spell carousel. That was a tricky one. Nope, didn't spell it right. Okay, so now just to double check our work, okay, is we need to just make sure that this adds up to 72. So the way you check it is you take 63 and you add up 9, and your answer should equal 72. If it does not, then that means something's wrong, and just to go back and double check. Okay, so this and this is 12, and this is 7. So yes, he did do 72. So my answer is correct. Before you get off, I just wanted to let you know that on the worksheet there is an error on the second question. The second question says, Lance spent 7 times as long on the bumper cars. It should be that Lance spent 6 times on the bumper cars, not 7. Right? If not, the answer will be wrong. It won't be an even, it'll be a remainder, and that's not what I was aiming for. So again, Lance spent 6 times as long on the bumper cars. Okay, I miss you all. I hope that you're staying safe. Please reach out if you need me. I posted my office hours for this week. If you need to meet with me, just go ahead and sign up. All right, I miss you all. Stay safe.